the entire world just for one person. Can you imagine? Everyone in this room, for one of us, God would have created the entire world. You know what the entire world means? Wall Street, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Acapulco, ice cream. Remember the ice cream? Everything. They started giggling when I mentioned ice cream. I wonder why. Everything of all generations and all future generations, God would have created just for anyone, whether his name is Natasha, or Chaim Getzel, or Yankel, or Dan. Amazing. God will create the entire world for every single individual. Can you imagine? So that is accentuating the importance of the individual. That every individual is very, very important. On the other hand, we know that, as I mentioned before, the Torah obligates us to worry and to take care of others and to act uniformly together as a community. The Talmud says, "Al tifrosh min hatzibur," you're not allowed to separate yourself from the community. If the community does a project, you have to be part of it. So 1 minute, you tell me to appreciate my individuality. Let me further enforce that idea that our sages tell us. Our sages tell us in the same Talmud, in Tractate Sanhedrin, Talmud says that Keshem shepartzufeim einam shavim, just like the facial features, the bodily forms are not the same of every human being. Meaning, if today there are 6.5 billion people around the world, everyone is different. Even identical twins are not identical. The parents can tell the difference. They're almost identical. Says the Talmud, God created humanity that every single person has his unique facial and body features like no one else in the world. There's not one person in the world that is exactly a carbon copy of another person. There's no such a thing. Says the Talmud, Kach deyoteim einam shavot. So too, the minds of people are not equal to one another. Everyone has a mind of his own, especially Jews. Right? They say 2 Jews, 3 opinions. Everyone has a mind of his own, and it's unique. The combination of one's mind is never a copy of someone else. Somebody says, "Oh, I feel exactly what you feel like." It's not true. It's not true. It's baloney. I say I can feel a little bit of what you feel, maybe something similar, but exactly what you feel like, nobody feels exactly what you feel like. Only you, with your upbringing, with your psychological and physical pressures, only you can really understand you better than anyone else on earth. There's no such a thing, somebody understands you fully. Somebody can understand you better than others if you're close with the person, but not exactly. It's impossible. Says the Talmud, why? Just like God is one and only, right? How many gods do we have? One. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem. There's one God. So too, every human being is one and only. There's no such thing as replacing a human being. What do you care? There's a bank. A teller got a heart attack and died. So what do you care? Next morning, somebody else filling his job. You don't look at it like this, because that teller was a unique human being. You will never be able to replace the human being. You're able to replace his job, but not the person. The person is one and only. So all over the generations, from Adam and Eve till today, billions and billions of people, there's no such a thing as one who is exactly was like someone a generation or 10 generations ago. No such a thing. Everyone, just like God is one and only, so too we as human beings are one and only. But then, again, it's a dilemma. If you are one and only and we're required to maintain our individuality, on the other hand, we say that there is an obligation to act as a community and in order to break away from the norms of society. So we are being required to act uniformly with others. It seems to be a contradiction. So what are we promoting? The individuality of a person or the communal shape of that, what we call humanity? That's really the question. The truth is that in the secular world, people go with those ideas to the extreme. I don't have to mention to you guys, you come from the former Soviet Union, most of you, and you certainly know about, have you heard the word communism ever? Mm-hmm. No? Yeah?
Yes, a few times.
Yeah, you heard it, I think, once or twice. Communism! Communism said, everyone is equal. Everyone is the same. Somebody has a long nose and somebody has a short nose, but everybody is the same. That's something which doesn't sit well with Judaism. But what's wrong? What's wrong with that? What's wrong? We say that there's a communal responsibility. That's communism. Communism means, right, there's a community. Everybody is together. Others go to the other extreme. Individuality. Anarchism. There's no such a thing as community. Everybody, as the Torah says, Ish kol hayashar beinav, everybody can do whatever he wants. Those are the two extremes of the way society deals with it. There's a very difficult way to come up with something which makes perfect sense. I don't know if you remember when we spoke in Jerusalem, one of my favorite statements by Maimonides is, Maimonides says that the perfect way a person should choose in life is shvil hazahav, shvil haemtzai, the middle of the road. So the question is, it's very difficult to understand. Maimonides was a great scholar, he was a great doctor, he's a great Torah scholar. So he's telling everyone to go in the middle of the road, not to go to any extremes. Should be mediocre. Is that what Maimonides says? So obviously that's not the case. What Maimonides is saying in his brilliance, a beautiful idea. He says like this: somebody who is an extremist is a meshuggah. He needs a doctor. Okay? Extremism is ugly. It's no good. But there is one thing where extremism is beautiful. What is that? Says Maimonides that a person has to strive to be extremely balanced. That's a tzaddik. A righteous person is not a meshuggah, is not this way or that way. He is perfectly balanced. That's in the middle of the road. It doesn't mean middle of the road mediocrity. It means the ability to take two extremes and find the perfect balance. That's really what Judaism is all about. To find the right way. The Torah says, Derech hayosher ve'atoiv. There is something which is good. Tov is good in Hebrew. Yashar means straight. Straight means balanced. You know, when you build a building, you have, what do they call this in English? It's lever, right? The lever has to be exactly right. If it's a little bit off, then it may be a little off now, but then the whole wall will collapse because the next one will also be crooked, a little more crooked, and that's the end of the building, right? So you have to be yashar, means straight. Straightness means to be accurate, to be proper. That's the goal of humanity, to find the right balance. So the question then is, how do we find the right balance, right? Is that, do we need to promote our individuality, or do we need to emphasize the need for communal cooperation and uniformity? Let me present this from a different angle for a moment. There's a problem, a philosophical problem. It says that God is one. God is one. Ein od milvado. There is nothing in the world other than God. Wait a minute. What's going on?